Hearing him cry for 1 hour just about killed me.
I'm completely overwhelmed trying to take care of the 3 kids. I feel like I'm drowning every day.
Those are some of the harrowing words Lindsay Clancy wrote in her journal in the weeks before she strangled her 3 children to death with exercise bands in the basement of her Massachusetts home. I'm Fiona McLaughlin with the U.S. Sun, and here's everything you missed from the start of week 2 of Lindsay Clancy's trial. Several medical professionals took the stand, including those who ran a code blue on Lindsay in the middle of the night, and one of the doctors who helped come to the decision to take 8-month-old Callan Clancy off life support. Lindsay could be seen fidgeting with the tissue after the doctor broke down the steps that led to the heartbreaking decision. Here are the 5 key points of day 5 of her murder trial. More of the thoughts running through Lindsay's head in the weeks before her children's death were revealed in court. In one of her diary entries, Lindsay opened up about feeling like she was drowning every day.
I'm completely overwhelmed trying to take care of the 3 kids. I feel like I'm drowning every day. Again, another page that's not dated.
Correct.
At some point, there are some dated pages in this journal, fair to say, right?
Yes.
And there's one on November 18th. And November 18th, that page reads, "It's like I'm so desperate to get a mental break from taking care of everyone that my mind is trying to make something physically wrong with me." You recall reviewing that in the journal?
Yes.
She also talked about her struggles with trying to sleep train her youngest Callan.
Hearing him cry for 1 hour plus and not intervening just about killed me. I even said the words, "I want to die," to Pat while he was crying. He would be the baby, right?
Correct.
And this is her saying that not being able to go to her child because they were trying to do sleep training, she indicated that it was just about killing her, correct?
That's what was stated, yes.
Quote, "I also feel like I did it wrong because I did it when he was overtired, so I made it harder. I now have horrible insomnia and anxiety, which is causing depression. I have no appetite. I don't know what's wrong with me. I want help. I want to be well." You saw that in there, didn't you?
Yes.
And then she went on and said, "I think the anxiety started after sleep training. Doctor said it was okay to let him cry. I need to get a good night's sleep and take care of him, rocking him to sleep every nap in bed in the middle of the night." She noted that, right?
Yes.
Noting further in separate occasion, "He's still a very happy baby despite his sleep training. Why I feel guilty is not really hitting his milestones, not rolling over, although he almost is, exclamation point. And he's babbling, which is a new milestone." She wrote that, right?
Correct.
She wrote, "I have crazy brain fog. I feel like I can't make a plan. I can't carry it out. Like I just live moment to moment, waiting for the next nap time. I'm terrified of Cal getting overtired now because I feel I can't help him." She wrote that, right?
Correct.
She then wrote, "I'm really worried about going back to work and not being able to function with the brain fog. I feel like I should start with a 4-hour shift and see how I do. I can't tell if I am withdrawing from Ativan and Benadryl, or is this my new baseline? I feel completely disconnected with my baby. I feel like I'm going through the motions every day." She wrote that, right?
Correct.
Lindsay also wrote about her worries going back to work and finding it difficult to reconnect with her husband postpartum.
And there were a number of other entries that you put in your police report about that. One of which was that, "I feel horribly guilty about my marriage. I want to connect with Pat again. I know he needs it. I need it. I'm terrified because I'm terrified of the relationship. She needs to get birth control first." She made reference to her inability to have conjugal relations with her husband, right?
I believe so.
She indicated further on into her travels, "I am completely overwhelmed trying to take care of the kids. I'm drowning every day. I feel guilty that I'm spending my family's money and not making any. I feel like I spend way too much." She wrote that, right?
Correct.
I'm terrified of Callan getting sick. He's a sick baby. A sick baby is miserable. He's sick now with a double ear infection. Clearly has a bellyache. It's miserable. I feel like the other kids are going to get him sick all winter long." She wrote that, right?
Correct.
"I always feel strongly against sleep training. I feel like it's abusive to let the baby cry and not respond, but I made the decision. I did it with Cal. It is way too much crying. It's incredibly stressful." She wrote that, right?
Correct.
"He's okay. He will be okay. It's not harmful in any way. The doctor said it was okay. Plenty of people sleep train their kids at that age. It's necessary as a third child," is what she wrote, right?
Correct.
"I feel incredibly sad and guilty about not breastfeeding anymore. That was the one thing I could do to help his immune system, and I can tell he really doesn't like the formula. I'm very sad about this. I know at this time it's what I needed to do for my mental health. She wrote that, right?
Correct.
And then the statement started getting smaller and smaller as time went by. One occasion, it's like I'm desperate to get a mental break from taking care of everyone. My mind is trying to make something physically wrong with me. My mind never shuts off. It's constantly thinking of the next thing someone needs. I can't shut it off. I desperately want to go back to work, but now I don't know how I'm going to function, and it worries me. Wrote that, right?
Correct.
There were 2 pages that were blank that she didn't even write on. And then on the third entry, affirmations. She wrote affirmations. On November 22nd of 2022, I am calm. I will remain calm today. There is nothing that needs to be on my mind. The weight is lifted from my mind. I will sleep tonight. She wrote that, right?
Correct.
Continuing on into November, I slept well last night. I will sleep again tonight. Today will be a great day. I will go back to work on Sunday. I will thrive. I can feel like myself again. That was November 23rd. She wrote that, right?
I believe that's the day, yes.
Hours after Lindsay was admitted to the hospital after she tried to take her life, her blood pressure dropped to dangerous levels. A code blue was called where hospital staff rushed to start CPR around 3:30 in the morning.
The 24th into the early morning hours of the 25th. Was there a particular event that you were witness to for this particular patient?
She coded.
What does that mean?
Means her blood pressure dropped for her. It meant her blood pressure dropped and it wasn't sustainable with life.
So what did you do when her blood pressure fell and she coded?
We started CPR, we did compressions.
And this event occurred approximately at 3:30 in the morning, correct?
Yes,
Was she eventually stabilized after that code?
she was.
And did they do something as far as intervention to try to maintain her blood pressure?
We increased her pressors. We added 2 more pressors. She was already on 2. They placed chest tubes in, started what we call a massive blood transfusion protocol.
And did this all occur in the trauma surgical intensive care unit, or did she have to be taken to a different unit?
No, it all occurred in her room.
And other than medical staff that was treating her that particular night, did you observe anybody else present?
She had 2 police officers outside the room.
While Lindsay's older children, Cora and Dawson, were pronounced dead soon after arriving at the hospital, doctors were able to restart Callan's heart. In the days after, officials realized the 8-month-old was not responding to a variety of stimuli and ultimately made the decision to begin the process of brain death testing.
So in a patient who has brain death, would it be accurate to state that as the carbon dioxide level increases, the automatic response would be to take a breath to get more oxygen, but a patient who's brain dead won't do that?
That's correct.
In the days after the fateful night of January 24th, 2023, Lindsay underwent a major spine surgery. Soon after, she reported experiencing visual hallucinations.
She had gone through some oxygen desaturations overnight, so was not breathing as well. Her heart rate was up, all of which then led to her being what we call delirious. She was confused overnight to the point where she asked her nurse, "Am I delirious?" And she was also experiencing some visual hallucinations. So that was one of the reasons why I was called in, to make sure that she was able to make that decision to change her healthcare proxy. And then in addition, the team had also voiced, concerns that she had come in after a reported suicide attempt. And so making sure that she was able to make that decision of sound mind. And so we actually waited until the next day when she could be reassessed. At that point, her delirium had cleared, and she was continuing to make that consistent choice to change her healthcare proxy to her parents.
And in fact, you noted in the medical records that the hallucinations were part of an issue with oxygen.
It could be. That could be one of the reasons. Delirium is usually due to a variety of different medical reasons, and oxygen desaturation could be one of them. She had also just recently had anesthesia related to a surgery that she had on her spine, so that could be another reason. And then her heart rate was also actually quite elevated, so that could be another reason.
Is it common for patients who are just coming off of anesthesia from surgery who have an issue with oxygen and other medical issues that you described to have visual hallucinations?
They can. It's not that everybody does, but they can. And delirium can be quite common after surgery, and particularly anesthesia.
And those hallucinations that she was having, those were resolved by the next day. They were over by the next day, correct?
That's correct.
And her choice to change her healthcare proxy to her parents was consistent the following day, correct?
That's right.
In the weeks after January 24th, 2023, Lindsay underwent a series of safety evaluations meant to see if she was ready to be transferred to another hospital and if her medications were at the right dosage. Lindsay's mood was recorded by her psychiatrist, who revealed in court that Lindsay was feeling down about the events that led up to her hospitalization.
Did you speak to Ms. Clancy again on February 19th, 2023?
Yes.
And was the purpose for that to prepare her for a transition from Brigham and Women's to Spalding Rehabilitation?
That was one of the reasons.
Okay. And what were the other reasons?
So it was an ongoing safety evaluation, evaluation of psychiatric safety risk, as well as medication evaluation to determine if her medications were at the right level, the right dosage, and that she was on the right medications, and then just ongoing evaluation in terms of kind of her mental status.
And during that meeting, she denied suicidal intent, correct?
That's correct.
She denied homicidal intent, correct? She denied having auditory or visual hallucinations, correct?
Yes.
She reported her mood as okay, is that correct?
Yes.
And she told you she was looking forward to moving to Spalding, correct?
Yes.
She also denied any confusion or disorientation, is that correct?
Yes.
And again, you described her mood as okay on that day?
Yes.
And you described her as future-oriented on that day?
Yes.
And then you spoke to her again on February 21st, 2023, is that correct?
Yes.
And on that day, is this the same purpose that you just described, getting her ready, assessing her mental status and getting her ready to transfer to Spalding?
Yes.
Okay. And during that time, you wrote that the patient reported feeling down about her current situation, her paralysis, and the events leading up to her hospitalization. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you also noted that she said her thoughts about what she had done were not constant throughout the day, correct?
Correct.
So she wasn't thinking about killing her children throughout the day, every day, correct?
Correct.
And she said she had no suicidal intent, no homicidal intent, correct?
Correct.
No auditory or visual hallucinations, correct?
Correct.
You also write no PI. What does PI stand for?
Paranoid ideation.
And there was none of that either.
Correct.
You also made a note, notes low mood today in the context of her physical and legal situation, but does not currently meet criteria for major depressive episode. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more stories from the U.S. Sun.